8 has arrived, and there is no bigger game in college football than UCLA at Oregon. Now, nominally, this is a Pac-12 game, but in a few years, this will be a Big Ten game. And this weekend, there's a lot at stake in the future Big Ten. No one really knows how this game is going to go. A lot of people are figuring Oregon is going to pull out the win here because of the home field advantage. I tend to believe it's the other way around. I think UCLA is the hotter team. I believe they pull out the road win by a score of 27-21. Now, as we move to the early schedule on Saturday, 11 a.m. Central, we have Iowa visiting Ohio State. This will be a mauling. This will not be close at all. Ohio State wins this one 48-3. Also at 11 a.m. on ESPN2, Kansas visits Baylor. Kansas still a very good team, but in this particular matchup, I see the Bears getting back on track and winning by a score of 38-35 over the Jayhawks. Also at 11 a.m. on ABC, a surprisingly great game, Syracuse at Clemson. I've seen Syracuse pull off amazing victory after amazing victory this season. Unfortunately for them, I think they hit the wall, though, when they hit Death Valley. Clemson wins this game, a close matchup, 24-21 over the Orange. At 2 p.m., we have West Virginia visiting Texas Tech. This could be one of those games with a lot of fireworks. It has the potential. The only issue is Texas Tech quarterbacks all are suffering from the injury bug. That leads me to believe West Virginia comes and steals one in Lubbock. I have the Mountaineers winning 35-24 over the Red Raiders. Heading over to CBS for the SEC Game of the Week at 2:30 Central, Ole Miss at LSU. This could be an interesting game. LSU, everyone wants to write them off, but somehow they do enough to get over the hump. The win against Florida in the Swamp, very impressive. I think Ole Miss, though, is too much for the Tigers. I think the Rebels come in to Death Valley and win 31-21 over LSU. Moving to 2:30 p.m. Central on ABC. Texas versus Oklahoma State. Texas traveling to Stillwater in what is traditionally a very tough game for the Longhorns. This one may be the hardest game to predict on Saturday because both teams are very solid. Both teams are very good. Oklahoma State coming off a devastating home loss to TCU. Texas coming off a very tough home win over Iowa State. The Cowboys have won 8 of the last 12 meetings in this series, something that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows in Austin for folks who didn't know. In this game, though, the difference, as he has been all season, is Quinn Ewers. And I believe Quinn Ewers leads the Longhorns to victory in Stillwater, 45-41 over the Cowboys. Moving to 6 p.m., we have another intriguing matchup, Mississippi State at Alabama. Every time I pick Mike Leach, he does the opposite of what I expect him to do. When I pick him to win, he loses. When I pick him to lose, he wins. Alabama coming off a very tough last-second loss to Tennessee last week in what was potentially the game of the year in college football. I believe Bama bounces back. In this matchup, I see Alabama winning 38-24 over the Bulldogs in what should be a statement game for the Crimson Tide. At 6:30 p.m. on the SEC Network, we have Texas A&M visiting South Carolina. A&M, perhaps the most disappointing team in the SEC this season. In this game, though, I believe Texas A&M begins that long road back to respectability. I see them winning 28-17 over the Gamecocks of South Carolina. 7 p.m. on Fox, we have what could be a very good game, Kansas State at TCU. The Big 12 is a wide open race this season, and if you just like good football, Big 12 football is right up there at the top. In this particular matchup, though, I see TCU as being just a little too much for Kansas State. I've got the Horned Frogs winning 28-27 in a very, very close game. This should be a good one. Finally, the nightcap, a little Pac-12 after dark, Washington at California, 9:30 p.m. Central on ESPN. After dropping back-to-back games to UCLA and Arizona State, A lot of the luster came off of the Washington Apple. But in this particular game, I believe the Huskies come back, and they come back strong with a 35-14 victory over Cal in Berkeley. Last week I was a mediocre 7-6, which takes the overall season record to 56-25. So hopefully we'll get some improvement this week, and hopefully the games in week 8 will be just as good as what we saw in week 7. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your college football. I'll be back Sunday with The Hangover. See you then. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.